Go ahead and let's.
I started recording.
Okay, I'm about to say let's get it recorded again because you never know where it's gonna take off at.
Right. Your
Yeah.
screen is
So
frozen. Your screen. Okay, it's back. It's back.
okay, good,
Tell
good,
them
good,
they
good.
need to get their Wi-Fi together. Their Wi-Fi a little shoddy.
Oh no, I'm like what?
For all of y'all who don't know, Miss Amira B is currently in Arizona right now.
Hey guys, I'm here. I'm in the desert. I'm in the desert, shining like a sun. Um, but yeah, this is actually the retreat. Look over here. This is actually the journal prompt that was given at the retreat.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah, so after we did the happy, we did a cold plunge, which was really cool because I heard Steve Harvey. If you don't know, I love Steve Harvey. I don't care. He's very inspirational and he has good insight. Which I'm gonna derail real quick, which reminds me that people need to be with people with good insight and take advice from people with good insight, despite how their life is going, or if that make any kind of sense. Because
Right. No, it
some
makes
people is
absolute sense.
yeah, like some people is
Pay
lost.
more attention to the message than the messenger. I feel like a lot of times we live in a society where it's like people won't take the message if the messenger doesn't fit into what they think it needs to fit into. But everybody has something valuable to share. It doesn't matter what they look like.
I love that. Take the
I
message regardless of the messenger. Yeah, Steve Harvey, he was like, I guess they was asking him some stuff like what he does for his livelihood, and he was like, I do a cold plunge every morning, like that's how I get started. And so I knew he said that, and so like when I was booking the retreat, I'm like cold plunge, I'm like plant medicine. These are all things that I wanted to be able to do.
Mhm.
Um, and so the cold plunge is like designed to kind of what it's called activate your nervous system, invite you into like invite you in to realize that you can do anything, you can really do anything even in the cold creek, um or whatever. She explained it a lot more, but it was really good. I liked it. It was very cold, but it was really amazing because one with nature, with the ocean, and we did like make me water. We tried to do it anyway because we didn't have any service, so we couldn't get the beat popping. So one thing about me, if I don't got the beat, I don't got the beat, baby. I can't. I'm all over the place without the beat. I need that tap 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 tap. So, but anyway, we tried like make me water. Did the challenge. We had a lot of fun. Um, and outside of like make me water challenge, water is really amazing. Really helps the healing process. And you really could get a lot of insight from what it means to be an ocean, what the ocean actually does, and like how it's flow, how it's free, and how it's very feminine. Really. So that was really good. And then after that, she pulled a few cards for me. Um, and the cards basically, I'm destined to shine. That's what the cards say. But
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I second that.
I'm cracking up. Um, but it's more work that I need to do. A lot of letting go, a lot of things from my childhood that's creeping in my adulthood that's keeping me from realizing or going forth into or going farther into the journey or whatever. So that was really good. Most importantly, I was happy. It's a solo trip. It's my first solo trip. Um, and yeah, I just happy that I took time out for myself to go ahead and just go deeper. If you don't know me, I love to go deep. I'm not just a deep person. I love to be, and it's so funny because okay, next thing, the next day I went to see this other goddess. Her name is Brianna the Moon Goddess. I follow her on Instagram, and she's dope. She's a Cancer. I love Cancers. I love Aquarius, which I'm a Cancer. Shell's Aquarius. I'm always in the mix of those two. So, um, and I went to her class. It's like a sound healing yoga class, and it was really amazing actually. And I'm gonna just say it out loud, y'all. I do yoga, but it's never with black women. Like as the host. So it felt really good. And she is banging. She knew what she was doing. And she helped me. I felt more free. I don't know if it was because I felt more comfortable that I start to feel more free because of the interaction of us being who we are or whatever. But it was really good. And
Listen, ain't
she,
nothing like being around your folks. That's why
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
like, I love to be around my people. It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
it's
yeah.
different. Not that you can't I can't have an issue connecting with other people because I don't. It's just a
Right.
matter it's just a sense of relatability that you get when you're around like your folks. It's just nothing
Hmm.
compared.
Yes. And she was like, it was so funny because she was like, oh my God. I told her I was all the way from New Jersey. And she was like, oh my God, everybody I meet from the East Coast are always just so fast and always just so upset. And I was like, she was like, maybe because you're spiritual that it doesn't show up through you. And I was like, oh no, honey, I, I cultivated that so that it doesn't so that I could be, it is very much so from the East to the West is very different. Um, it's almost problematic if if we want to really talk about it, the way that they have us living, always on go, always never taking time out, never always upset. People are so angry. Um, they are though,
Mhm.
and it's so funny. Is you'd be surprised how many stories I took in from back at home while I was up here, and I'm just like, what is people ever gonna just excuse me it's decide that some of the stuff is really just dumb, for the lack of better words. Like you're just gonna wake up and
Maybe when they get the message from the right messenger, then maybe they'll get it because they don't listen either up here. They don't listen.
yeah, yeah. So overall, really good experience. Got a little bored. I did get a little bored. Speaking of solo trip, and I did get a little like I'm all by myself. I don't know, but it was
Hmm.
good. It was good.
Yeah.
Um, I come back home tonight, but I don't arrive back into Jersey until Tuesday afternoon. But how are you? Because I miss you. I haven't talked to you.
I miss you
You're
too.
doing your social media break, and how's that going? How do you feel? What's coming up?
You want to know something? It's actually a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Okay.
Now, I did re-download my Facebook only because I've been doing a lot of selling on like Facebook Marketplace. And when I
Mhm.
like posted, like I had make posted all these listings, and then I was like, all right, I'm taking my break. But I can communicate with the people via the listings on my messenger, but I can only create new listings through Facebook. So I still have my Facebook because I like deleted them off my phone, so I wouldn't be able to access them.
Right.
But I re-put Facebook back on my phone
Mhm.
for marketplace purposes. Now I'm not even going to the parent front. I found myself like clicking on it and looking at like the very first thing that popped up, but then I was like, nope, and got right back off. But that has only happened maybe like once or twice, maybe three
Mhm.
times since I've been off. So which is good because like I said, before I decided to take a break, I found myself just mindlessly scrolling Facebook, get off of Facebook, Instagram, get off of Instagram, TikTok. So and Instagram, I was fine when I've been on Instagram. I had to re-download my Instagram only because I went to Samir from Superior Art.
Yes.
His organization received a $20,000 gift from Genesis, their
Oh.
Inspiration Foundation. So they had their grand opening of their new Genesis location, and that's where they had
Mhm.
the check presenting thing. So I went with him. So I had, met I networked and I met a contact and we exchanged. Well, I he gave me his Instagram information, so I had to re-download my Instagram just to go on there and follow him and send him a message to make that connection. But I don't get on
Right.
Instagram, which surprisingly, I mean, it's not surprising. I just don't get on there. Like I don't like.
That's so
So
funny because
I've been
I was
doing really really good. I've been doing really great. Like and it doesn't bother me I will say I've been playing a lot more games on my phone because like that's what I've been using like in place of social media. Like I've been playing my Candy Crush, but then I
Love
downloaded
Candy
like a
Crush.
word game to like just keep my mind sharp and stuff like that. And I still do
Hmm.
have YouTube. I'm never letting go of YouTube because to me, YouTube is just, even though it's almost kind of like a social media platform, but it's just too valuable information. So I do find
Right.
myself watching YouTube videos, but I've always watched YouTube videos. But my social media detox has been great. I cannot complain. I am not missing it. But I am using this time of me not being on there to prepare to get back on there because when I get back on there, it's going to be under a different lens as it was before. But
Right.
speaking of social media and getting on there, I figured it out for you. I figured it out.
Okay.
And we'll talk about we're not gonna talk about it on here, but we're gonna talk about it. I figured it out how you're going to get what it is that you are looking for out of social media. I figured it out. And I was like, yeah, that's it.
That's interesting because I literally was like, yeah. I don't know how to put this, but two things. If I don't want to lose it, one thing I wanted to be supportive of your journey, which is I was coming across so many things where I was like, don't send it to her because if you send it to her, that's like activating her. So if it's like
Listen, no. If you come across anything that you want me to see, still send it because I'll still get it. Like I said, I don't get notifications. Like I don't even have the app on my phone, so it's not going to like
okay,
come up on my phone. But once I do
but
go
when
to
you go
log
back
back
on,
in, when
it'll
I
all come
do,
in.
it'll all still be there. So still
Okay.
send me stuff. Still send me stuff.
Okay, good. That's good to know because I was like, I can't send it to her. I had to be supportive. Okay, good. So that was good. And then number two thing, I kind of talked about social media while I was out here in Arizona about me personally, like how I feel about it, what I'm doing, da, da, da. And the host that I was speaking to, she was kind of saying like, she was also saying that she was going on a detox. And mostly I feel like a lot of people are doing it because of the season. So you already know, live like the seasons. But outside of that, she was like, when she do it, she still is. It's not like she's taking herself out of the whole world because she already has built a community. But it's more so like instead of being on Instagram, I'm in my emails. Like I'm still interacting with my email list. Kind of so I'm still interacting with my marketplace list. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're still building. And she was like, if you are interested, I'm not. She kind of was like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But she was like, if you are interested in it, and because people, whether they're telling you or telling you they are inspired by you or using your methods or not, they are. And so like you don't want to like ghost somebody. Like she was like saying like the relationship is like a live relationship. And it's like if you ghost somebody in real life, they would be like, and then you came back and they'd be like, girl, bye. I don't want to talk to you no more. The ghost is
Mm-hmm.
like nobody like no ghosts or whatever. So and she was saying, so if when you do it, just inform your community, like, y'all, I'm doing this for now. I'm gonna see y'all in January, just kind of like let them know or like, still kind of interact somewhere for the community, for whatever it is that you're building or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was good information, but I still don't know. Like I'm still off of it for me
See, I
personally.
see. I did do that with Facebook only because with Facebook I have a more personal community and people that I actually engage with on Facebook.
Hmm.
So on Facebook, I was like, yeah, I'm taking a little hiatus. I'll see y'all later or something like that.
Right, right.
Instagram, I just left because I felt no need to make a PSA on Instagram because
I know everybody that I'm building community with through Instagram. I actually talk to them all the time, if not every day, at least once a week. If at least within, I'm talking to everybody that I engage with the most on my social media. So
Mhm.
I'm like, that's
But and you
my
want to know
community.
something about that though? What I feel like why I didn't feel like it was necessary to do it because what I've realized about the algorithm on social media, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. Like as much as you're posting and as long as you're posting, it's going to show up to these people. But when you're stop posting, but if you stop posting, it's just no longer going to show up. And I don't think it's going to be a situation where people will realize that you're missing. They'll just feel like they're not seeing your stuff, if that makes sense, because it's so much content to consume that I don't feel like, it's not that what I'm doing is not valuable, that I don't think that people are gonna like miss me or notice me. People who really care about me will. However, I feel like most of those people are people who I really just like know, like in real life, who will
Mhm.
privately be like, oh shit, like let's say you and I, if I always saw your post every day, every day, every day for 6 months, and then one day I noticed for a whole week you just wasn't posting, I'm be like, where the fuck Amira at? Like, but if I'm a content consumer and I'm consuming these, I'm scrolling, I'm always seeing your stuff because you're always posting. But then if you just stop posting and I stop seeing your stuff, I don't know if I would pay that much attention to you not being there, because I feel like I would be over consumed with so much other stuff, if that makes sense. So what I'm in this season, what I've realized that I was leaving, not even leaving behind, but just changing. I'm pretty sure you saw Baby Boy, right?
What is called?
Baby Boy,
Yes, yes.
Tyrese. So you're
Mhm.
familiar with the story, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
do you remember when Melvin was giving him and P the conversation? He was talking about guns and butter.
Yes.
Where I am in my life is I'm transitioning from guns and butter to say where he said you either a buyer or a seller.
Mhm.
I'm no longer operating in a space of being a buyer and being of
Mhm.
consumption. I'm the person that's now putting out the product.
Mhm.
So before I noticed, when I was just mindlessly scrolling, because really, essentially, when you're on social media, you're either a buyer or a seller. You're either the person
Mhm.
selling the content or you're the person consuming the content. Like,
Mhm.
so I was on social media, especially Instagram, primarily as a consumer. Like I was just consuming content, always
Mhm.
consuming content. Then I realized I don't want to be a consumer of content anymore. I want to be a producer of content. So that
Mhm.
was part of the reason why I just like cut like my Instagram out, because I'm planning on when I return to Instagram, it will be on a producer basis and not on a consumer basis. Like I'm only here to do business here. Like I'm only here to produce content for consumers who want to consume, and it's kind of like it's really like it's really like a not even a mindset, but it's like a real thing. Like being a producer versus a consumer, and it's like really like haptics and algorithm shit that you got to know and ways to do it. Like it's really like a job. Like it's really a job. So
It really is a job.
like
Sorry.
you know, and it's like a lot of times I think we had this conversation when we were in New York, and we were talking about like how you put your heart and soul into stuff because you just feel like you want to give, you want people to consume it, like you want people to know what it is. But it's kind of like when you think about it from you, we were posting even still from a consumer perspective because we're posting stuff that we would consume,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
stuff that we would like to see. But you really gotta like, it's really like a blueprint that gotta be followed to like be a successful content like creator or producer. And I'm just like, so that's why bring me back to the Facebook thing. Like, yeah, I still have Facebook, but I no longer use Facebook for what I once used it for. I
Right.
use Facebook because I use Facebook for Facebook Marketplace. I place listings and I sell things now. Like I'm ushering out the time of me being a buyer and coming into me being a seller, because buyers don't make no money. And if you want to make money, you got to be a seller. You can't be a buyer.
Facts. Big facts. I love that. I love that. Um. Yeah. You gotta know what why you're somewhere. But
Hmm.
like always, anywhere. Like if we could place that same analogy wherever we want to place it, because you need to know why you're in a place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, otherwise you're gonna get chewed up by the people who know why you're there. Some because people will know, like people could know
Mm-hmm.
without you knowing, and then now you're gonna get snatched right on into
Yep.
their kings. So that's good. I love the expansion
Mm-hmm.
of it. I like that. Also, I put some. Speaking of social media, I put something on my page on my stories because one thing, um, I've always been a storyteller. Before all of this came about, I always been in my stories to tell a story. Like I like to do that. So in my stories, and I put in there this thing where you see a circle and it says maybe you're not really in circles. And maybe you just need to switch perspective, and then you'll see the circle going around one layer, another layer, another layer, and another layer. And so, like, as we grow, as we consume, because consuming is a good thing. When you're in the consuming season, see, like
Mm-hmm.
seasons is so, and that's what that circle kind of represents. Maybe you're in a consuming season, now you're in a buying season, and you know what I mean. And so,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good to recognize your circles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most
So I thought
definitely.
that was really cool. Um, yeah, but I wonder where hold up because it's supposed to be three of us:
It is.
AB, Shells, and Mr. Light, and he has not tapped in. He has not tapped in.
Well, I would just say that this is unlike life, so hopefully all is well with him and his family right now.
Yes, yes, I agree. This isn't like him. He
So
was we was in contact this morning, so something definitely must have
right,
came up.
so y'all all keep life in y'all prayers. We don't know if anything has happened. He could just fell asleep. We don't know, but it's unlike
Hmm.
him, so we just want to, put them prayers out there for him anyway, just in case. So yeah.
Amen. I like it. That was beautiful. Um, cool. So I did some topics that came up over the weekend, and just overall, and I wanted life to be here for this, was co-parenting. Um, um, so it was funny. Somebody put, speaking of social media, somebody put on her page, how do you how do you co-parent with someone that you are healing from? And I
Simple.
thought that it was say it
Go
again.
ahead, finish.
I was gonna say I thought that it was a really, really good topic because during the time that I was reading it, I actually was having a lot of stories come in from people who are co-parenting and it being turned upside down and being a really traumatic, toxic space. And so I went in. I was happy to see what she put, and I went and I read some people comments and stuff. And I wanted to bring it to the forum because um, that's it's a lot. It's just it's a lot.
I just want to say this, y'all. When I tell you the confirmations between Amira and I be so on point, I was actually just having this conversation in my group chat with some people, in my group chat, my friend group chat earlier today, and we were talking about co-parenting because we were discussing something with Yandy and Mendices and his son little Mendices, and then we started talking about how like his mom Samantha and like her and Yandy's like tumultuous relationship over the years. I don't know if any of y'all
Mhm.
familiar, but I got an answer for y'all. But a lot of y'all not gonna like this because it's too simple.
I love
But
this.
in the words of my good great sis Lauren Hill, she said it could all be so simple, but we rather make it hard. And I think that's the thing. It's actually really simple to co-parent. And I'm gonna tell you, as long as you put the children's needs first, it's actually very simple. It doesn't matter if you're healing from this person or not. If you make it about the children and not about yourself, it's really fucking simple. Like it's really simple, and I can speak from experience. I'm not just blowing smoke out my ass for y'all. This to sound profound. It's really simple. I am a parent. I was in a situation where my child's father parented another child in the midst of us parenting our child, as you can read between the lines. In that moment that I knew that there was another child coming into this world that was a sibling of my own child, I put my selfish needs to the side and said, for the sake of my child and wanting my child to have a good relationship with her siblings, because it's not about me, co-parenting became so fucking simple. Because what's the problem? No problem, because nothing is about me anymore. I think the problem with that is people want to, in their mind, they tell themselves that the things that they're doing is for what's best for their children. But in reality, if it's causing any kind of conflict, it's not what's best for your kids. To have the most peaceful situation is what's best for your children. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are selfish and put their own needs and feelings and hurt and traumas before what's best for their children. So, how do you co-parent with somebody that you're healing from? Simple. Make it be about the kids and not you. Period.
That is so good. That is so simple, and that was actually one of the answers inside of the text thread of the Facebook post. And I'm not a parent, but I do agree. Um, because number one is it's very simple, like you said. It's not about you.
Not about you.
It's not about you. And then another thing that I noticed that happens in these spaces is that what people aren't. I, I know what I noticed is that people don't full picture things,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that you're not full picturing a thing is the reason why things are failing in the future. Like it's the reason why we have toxic men and women, not toxic boys and girls, toxic men and women.
That
Um,
part.
and I'm having a conversation with multiple people about different situations, but same thing. And I'm just like, well, it's kind of crazy that you're going to put your child through the most uncomfortable space, without putting the details in. You're putting your child in the most uncomfortable space where they are losing trust, where they're losing. Um, I'm just okay. What I'm trying to say is, it turns into mom issues and it turns into dad issues, and then they seep over into when that same boy and that same girl go into a relationship, and then they're looking for their partner to be a father or a mother,
Mm-hmm.
and it just turns into violence, it turns into crime, it turns into it's just not worth it for
Mm-hmm.
later. It's just not worth it for later. So, you know, um, another thing that was coming up, and it's funny because most people talk about toxic dads, they never talk about toxic moms,
Ooh.
and it's funny because I'm
Look, I
sitting
don't even have nothing else in my cup but sips tea.
it's funny because I'm sitting here and I'm just like,
Right.
do these moms or these mothers not know how detrimental it is to pull the father, just 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 uproot him out of the whole, just forget about him, throw him out, just throw him out, take him out of the child's life. It's just you're teaching them the wrong thing by doing that.
So I have this
um
saying, Amira, real quick. I have this saying that says the same women going around screaming niggas ain't shit are raising ain't shit niggas.
yes, I mean,
The same niggas that y'all complaining about, y'all are raising y'all sons to be those niggas.
yes, and I'm so hurt because
Sips tea.
I'm sitting here like, wow. So basically, my little nieces. So, because I mean, I don't mean nobody no harm, but they say there's many fish in the sea, but a lot of those fish is kind of like poisonous. Some of those fish you gotta stay away from, right? And so I'm sitting here thinking about all the little babies that's going to go after us. And wow. So basically they're going to be their pool is going to be, if not more toxic than our pool. Because I feel like it's getting worse. I feel like the parents today are not really good parents. I don't know. So I thought about it like this because we have so many laws and systems that we follow. But if we really had laws that really actually help us be accountable and become a better people, I think that'll really make us better. Like for instance, like it should be a law to go to parenting class. Like, I don't care. It's like because people, I don't care because you don't know what to do. And
Mm-hmm.
you don't know what to do. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like you need an evaluation. Like I feel like we need laws on it because people are, like you said, running rogue.
Mm-hmm. We need DNA
And
tests too. Every child should be swabbed the moment that they come out the womb.
yeah,
That
I
should be a
agree.
law. Like that should be mandated. That the
Yeah,
moment that you have a child and you're claiming that this man is a child's father, the baby should be swabbed immediately. Like,
that's funny because that was one of the stories that came up through in my space. The father may not be it's a lot going on.
it's a lot of them. Quick, I just need to do a quick shameless plug real quick. Real quick.
Yeah.
This is not even this ain't no paid sponsor. We ain't even get that point yet where we getting paid sponsors. But if something is amazing, I have to tell y'all. Misha Chocolate.
Ooh, where's that
Baby.
from?
That's it. That's it. And that's
Misha.
it. That's on Misha Chocolate Hatfield. Baby. Check them out. All right.
Ooh.
I
Okay, I
had to
love
tell
that. Chocolate lovers, check in. I love that.
you.
Um,
Gourmet.
I love that. Yeah, so I was just like, and
We were talking about how many children are growing up with daddies that ain't the pappy.
yeah, that's a thing. And how is that going to affect the child in the long run, like mentally?
But it's so funny because
Um,
it's like women, especially in our community, we have been allowed to not take accountability for a long time.
mm,
But I feel like it's time for that to come to an end.
mm,
Women do a lot of foul shit,
yes.
but they never want to take accountability for it. They're always just wanting to place blame on the man. And I've
Hmm.
noticed just by in talking because I'm a person that I'll have conversations. I'm extremely observant. Like I listen to what people say and I'm like, oh, okay, I can see why. Like so in a lot of different groups and elements that I'm in and we're talking about different things, I'm hearing people. And one thing that I noticed that a lot of women do is they only tell the side of the story that makes them look like the victim.
Hmm.
So you'll hear
Hmm.
a woman saying, "Oh, my baby father ain't shit. He don't do nothing for my baby." Da 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 da. But you never hear the woman say, He ain't shit, and he don't do nothing for my baby because at the time I was fucking him, I was fucking two other niggas, and I don't even really know if the baby is his." They will never say
Hmm.
that, but they will just make it seem like the man is so terrible that he doesn't want to be there for his kids, but you never mention the reason why the situation is the way it is. And a lot of times, not all the time, because I'm not exempting ain't shit niggas for doing ain't shit niggas
Mm.
shit,
Oh, they there.
for, most definitely. But a lot of times, what I'm seeing just in my observations, it's like women don't take accountability. And I feel like that's the reason why it's so hard for people to, back to what you were saying, co-parent or just relate, period. Because it's like you have to take accountability for the role that you play and what's going on in your life. Like I am huge on accountability, like especially when it comes to like co-parenting a child. A lot of times when you have a dysfunctional co-parent relationship, the woman has the the most to do with this simply because she has the most power in the situation. Like she has the power to either
Yo,
allow you to have a great relationship or not allow you to have a great
yo,
relationship.
that part, that part. I'm so happy you said that out loud. The woman has the most power in these dysfunctional relationships, and she does. And I know a lot of different men that I've been with, um, romantically, and men that I'm just platonic relationships with, who wants to be a father, trying their very much, just trying, doing everything they can, but they have to fight the parents, family members to get through, if anything, or the mom is just, she won't, and she got the father blocked for no reason, because she's in another relationship, and the other person don't respect that they have a child together. So it's weird. It's
Mm-hmm.
immature. It's immature. I've dated men with kids. I have never, I can say it out loud, I have never been the type of woman, to take a man, or make a man not be a father to his child. I never done it. I never will do it. I think it's disgusting. So I feel like the other person involved with the other person to ignite that is very strange. And
Mm-hmm.
so that needs to be looked at. That's a whole nother story. But um, people, they make it very hard for you, and then they say nasty things to you, like you ain't doing nothing. Like, how can I do something if you won't allow me to do it?
That
And how
part,
can I do something if you train my kids to hate me? Because I like that you said they have the most power. Because let me tell you one thing: a kid loves their mom. A kid loves their mom. uh, Generally, mostly.
mm-hmm.
Um, and so she's training him. She's training him or her to disrespect. That's another thing that was coming up for me. I would never train a child to disrespect a parent. Number one, not alone an adult.
Right, and
So
an adult, period. Like,
yeah. So training your child to disrespect the father or the mother, whatever however you would relate to it, it's wrong.
mm-hmm.
How are you training your kid? So that actually
or
brings me to the
or training your child to disrespect the partner of the other parent.
yeah. Oh, that part. Experience that. Experience that. It's like, what? That part. Um, and it's so many. I'm watching people. I like you say, observing. I'm watching people raise their kids, and I'm like, I would never train my child. Oh God, to go into the world like this, it's not good. It's not good.
It's
And so
not.
it broke. It's not. It made me feel like, you know, there's laws in China, about childbirth, and I hate to say this, but feel like I feel like there needs to be like an evaluation, upon these deliveries or something, because um I just feel like people aren't mentally prepared or mature enough, to actually, some people, so don't get me wrong, some people will be born into a toxic situation and rise upon it. I'll use myself as an example. But a lot of people will fall into it. And, I just want less of that. I just want less
Okay,
of
but let
that.
me say this. In your situation, as far as success theory goes, right, you rose above it. But internally, there are still things in your adult age that affect you from being born into a toxic situation.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah.
like, listen, I feel like anybody who has two eyes and a brain, if you just observe the people around you, I feel like we can all agree that children who grow up in a two-parent home far way better than children who don't. And children who grow up in a co-parenting home with a good co-parenting relationship far better than children who don't. Like, it's just a fact. And I don't need to check statistics. I can just look around me. Like, you can just look around you and base your facts off of relationships that you actually see and people that you actually see. Like, it is important for children to have two healthy parents, regardless if they are
Mm-hmm.
together or not. Now, I'm always going to prefer for the parents to be together. However, we're living in an imperfect society and it's not going to always work out that way, right? It's not going to always work out that way. Like in my situation, my partner and I had already been establishing a relationship when he found out that he was going to be a father. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's one of those situations where, okay, it's going to be like a co-parenting situation. But I just feel like if people would really like take the simplistic idea that it's not about you anymore, it's about the children, I feel like parenting situations would be in such a great place because you would put all of your emotions to the side and do make whatever decision is best for your child. And so I was having like a debate with the group that I was talking to earlier in reference to the Yandy and Mendices and Samantha situation. And like their argument was kind of like, oh well, Samantha had a problem with Yandy at pretending that she was little Mendice's mom, and but he lived with Yandy. Yandy was basically
That's not
raising
her son.
him. Who?
The one with the colored eyes.
No, that's Omer. That's Yandy's son. So Mendices
Oh,
has four children. He has one. His oldest child is little Mendices. His mother is Samantha. He
oh
has
okay. Oh,
another
okay.
son under him. I cannot remember his name, but his mother's name is Erica. And then he has the two children with Yandy.
Okay. Okay.
So it was kind of like one of those situations where it was like Mendices had these three women. He loved and cared for them all, but Yandy was the one that he chose. Like Yandy was the one that he married. Yandy is the one that he chose to spend his life with. Cool.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mendices, shout out to Mendices. Mendices is a good man and a good father. What I had to explain to the group of people that I was talking to today is that you're making it seem as if these women gave their children away and didn't want to take care of them. So Yandy had the right to insert herself as if she was their mother when she is not. And I said, yo, that's not the way that it went. At the end of the day, first of all, his two first children who are not by Yandy are boys. Mendices is a man and a father who wanted his children to all be raised together so that he could be a primary source in their life. So he requested to have his children live with him. He can give them a better life if they live with him. And that's what people don't understand. And one of the people I was talking to, her sentiment was, oh, I was never giving my kids away. I was never giving my kids away. And I said, so if you are a single mom living in a rat infested project, but your child's father is successful. He has a wife who's successful. They have a beautiful house in a nice area, great school district. And he wanted to have his children live with him for a better opportunity. You wouldn't let them go. And it was no, because I'm never giving my kids away. And I said, that's selfish. That's selfish. That's
Mm-hmm.
where
I agree
people
with
don't
you.
realize that they are being selfish because you are making your decision based off of how you feel, how
Mm-hmm.
you feel having someone else raise your kids and not thinking about what would be best for the kids. In
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, if my child's father was far better than me, far better off than me, had a better living arrangement than me, and could offer the child a better opportunity at life than I could, and he requested to have the child live with him, I would allow the child to go. But that doesn't absolve me as having a relationship with my child or being that child's mother. I'm still going to talk to my child every day. I'm still going to be very active in my child's life just because I allow the child. I feel like people misconstrue living arrangements with like involvement in the child's life. Your child can live with their father. That's absolutely okay. If the father can offer them a better opportunity at life. Like, why would you want to, if you living in freaking, what do they say is one of, if you're living in Camden, New Jersey, and listen, no shade to nobody who has this situation, because that's not what I'm trying to do. If you're living in the city of Camden, but the father is living in, let's say, Voorhees, and he has a beautiful home, a great school district, I'm gonna ask you, do you think that it will be selfish for you to keep your child in the slums of this city simply because you don't want to feel like somebody else is raising your child?
I absolutely feel like that, and I know someone very close to me who's dealing with that. And the mom and the children won't see the better side because I don't know, whatever their selfish, I feel like I like that you use the word selfish, whatever their selfish reasons are, and also because they're not looking at the bigger picture. I would love for my children to have a better education. I would love for them to grow up in a better environment. I don't want my children excuse me, no harm, but I don't want my children nowhere near that.
If they don't
Sorry.
have to be, that's the thing. Like, if they
Sorry.
don't have to be, if my child's father and I are not together and he has a better situation going on than me, then I will allow my child to let that be the primary residence because they're going to have a better upbringing. Like you said, it's the bigger picture. How is the life that he can provide versus the life that I would provide affect them in the long run? Like,
Furthermore, I know a parent who is I know a parent and children who's old enough to make decisions, who's choosing to be homeless instead of going to the better option. And I feel like as a mother, I feel like the mother is wrong for not being an adult, a mature adult, and encouraging your children to go where they need to go because you're not in order. And I'm sorry that you're not in order, and I wish you the very much so best. But it's not fair to the children. And I would never, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
but it's like when you think of the mindset of a person for whatever reason, right? Unless it's like a tragedy or something, when you think of the mindset of a person who has children to be in a position that they're not in order, that goes to show the mindset and the character of the person. So it's kind of like, what would you expect from the kids? Because the kids have probably grown up being told that the father wasn't any good. So why would they want to go stay with them? You get what I'm saying? Like you said, people like are teaching their kids to have negative outlooks on the other parent simply because they have a negative outlook on the other parent. Like,
I would never do it. I would never do it. Another thing that I would never do, and I grew up like this, despite I would never talk in front of my kids. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop bad mouthing the other in front of them. Just stop it.
Yeah.
Just stop it. Is let them have the relationship because at the end of the day, one thing that Steve Harvey said, that's my guy, is that there's a difference between a father and a husband. Just because you can't, or a mother and a wife. Just because you can't be a mother or a wife doesn't mean, no, just because you can't be a wife or a husband doesn't mean you can't be a mother or a father. They're different. The roles are different. So maybe he is a bad husband. I don't know. Doesn't make him a bad father.
Exactly.
It just doesn't. It just doesn't.
But a lot of times, because a woman is experiencing a bad husband, they'll equate that to him being a father. So they will channel their feelings toward him as a husband, and it'll him being his role as a father will be a side effect of that. You got me saying side effect now.
I love that.
So,
I love that so much.
So because you hate him as a husband, you'll start downing him as a father when, like you said, one has nothing to do with the other. So like the initial topic was, how do you co-parent with somebody that you're healing from? Because you hate him as a boyfriend, doesn't have shit to do with the type of father he can be for that child. They're two
Mhm.
separate things. You don't have to
Mhm.
deal with him in that aspect. You only have to deal with him as a mother to a father, and that's it. And if you just simply say, okay, this situation is not about me, it's about him. Our relationship was about he and I. Our co-parenting relationship is about this child and nothing else. So I'm going to do what's in the better interest of my child. And when you realize your child having two parents who can communicate effectively, two parents who can put their differences aside to offer their child a better shot at life, because they realize that a child having two parents is say far better than children who don't have two parents, then you'll be like, the shit that I feel like, honestly, that will help you heal,
Mm.
because you can then start to view this person in a different light that's more positive,
Mhm.
because you're only
Yeah.
viewing him in a negative
That's
way
correct.
because of he wasn't a good partner. But if
Mhm.
you give him the opportunity and you start seeing him as, yeah, he wasn't a good partner, but he's an amazing father, you can develop a whole new relationship and love for him, because you
Mhm.
have that positive light to look at. But a lot of people don't even allow that to happen. But that's the way that you heal. That's how you heal from a bad relationship when there are children involved. And
That is so good. I
that's
love
to be
that.
a good father.
I love that so much. And it's two things that came up. It's two things that came up, but I wanted to talk about something real quick before I talk about health and mindset. I'm gonna get there because I feel like I'm gonna talk on that a lot. But what I wanted to say, so while I was on this retreat, and we talked about polarity,
Mhm.
and we talked about masculine energy and feminine energy, and yes, they're in both parties, but feminine is mostly woman, it's mostly in the woman, and masculine is mostly in the man, especially tribal days. Um, Obviously, we're living in 2023, so you could be anything these days. But I want to talk about the side effects of this, um, of um, more women deciding to uproot the father out of the equation. It don't matter. You talked about the home, which was really good. The home living arrangements versus involvement are two different things. So I like that you pulled that. So uprooting him out of the equation is so detrimental, and is a far fetch, but it's very real to Earth, to society. And so you have so this is how it came up like this. When it happened in the 1950s, around that time. I think it was like the American Revolution or maybe the World War II. And all of the men all of the men went out. And in this time, 1950s, women were operating feminine, period. They were in the house, they were nurturing the kids, they were feeding, they were flowing and free. Um, and the men were out going to work or going to wars. And during this time in the 1950s, all the men went out and they didn't come back home because they died in the war. And
Mhm.
then this you're probably familiar with this lady. I don't know the picture, the name of the picture, but it's a lady. She has a strong arm, and she has the red bandana on her head.
Mhm. What
It's
the
an
hell,
old
Mom?
picture. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, it's an old picture. And that was the start of
It
what
says
we're
something
getting
like
ready.
"we can do it" or something, something
Yeah,
like that. Uh huh.
that is the start of where we are right now, and why more and more of these situations are happening.
Mhm.
Because um, it was designed to first and foremost is making a woman believe that she could do it all. She's strong. She's not. That's not even that's not even you could what
Not
makes
even
you
in
think
my
that you could
character, baby.
what makes you think that you could do it all, number one. And so when that shift happened in the 1950s, and now we're into the 2020 into 2023, more women are believing that they could do it all by themselves. They could kick the man out. He ain't nothing. He don't gotta do anything. I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna pay all the bills. I'm gonna cook all the food. I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna become tired. I'm gonna tire myself out. I'm gonna burn myself out, and I'm gonna be yelling at my kids all the time. Because that's another thing that I see in these parents yelling at the kids all the time. I'm gonna have a chaotic house. Everything is going every. And so I'm bringing it up because it it's not a good idea. You cannot. You're not. You are great as a woman, and a woman holds so much value. That's not what I'm saying. But you're not supposed to be the mother and the father. And because when you do that, you get situations that a lot of the situations that we're talking about now, because those kids, those adults that go through these situations were once kids. And so like when I pulled up, like, I rose above it. But I also went through, so I'm also in just a whole bunch of toxic relationships because um subconsciously I'm dealing with things that it's just that I'm attracting, and that's, you can apply yourself. Anybody can put themselves in that situation. You're attracting your trauma, your issues, the fact that you never had a father, the fact that you was taught to hate your father, the fact that you always seen your mom doing all the hard work. Um, maybe some boys grow up to hate their mom because they were out of the house because you're trying to be a man so bad. Um, and I just wanted to bring it up, and I think it does go into the next topic that I wanted to bring up, which was, you said it is important for both parents to be healthy. All right, so we are definitely talking about parenting, but I said this in another space somewhere else. I was like, it don't matter what you're doing. It don't matter what you're doing. If you're going to be a parent, if you're going to be a team player, if you're going to be working at this cafe, it don't matter what you're going to do. You need to be healthy. Everybody, if you and not just healthy in a way that you're eating a salad, as you also said, the mindset of a person, healthy in the mind, healthy in the body, healthy in the soul. And it just brings me back to the idea that if more people worked on their mind, body, and soul, especially in the East Coast, because that's where we are, and that's where it's deep rooted in that space. Um, if more people became more healthy, they will be able to see the idea that your living arrangement is not the same as your involvement. They will be able to see the full picture. They will be able to be understanding. They will be able to have more grace. They will be able to, it'll be better. And so health, health, what, like, health is going to give you everything you actually need. They say, it's a saying that say health is wealth. It
Yeah.
is,
And it's
because
so
if you
funny
have
that you
a,
said health is more than just eating a salad, because people have this notion that healthy is just like not being sick or not being
mhm,
fat, or like, oh, I'm eating healthy, or I'm no, health is like you said, health is each part of your existence being in a healthy space. And a lot of times what people don't realize is that the health in your body is a direct reflection of the health in your mind, because the mind is all, the universe is mental. So if you have a healthy mind, your body will follow, the physicality will follow. If you have a healthy
mm,
spirit, I feel like if you have a healthy
mm,
spirit, the mind will follow. When your mind is healthy,
mm,
your body will follow. Like, people think that they can go to the gym and work out and eat a salad every day, and then that's going to change their reality, but it really doesn't, because your mind is not healthy. You don't have healthy thoughts.
you don't
You
have
don't have
healthy thoughts.
you don't have healthy thoughts. Like, you have
You don't,
very,
and it
very
shows.
toxic thoughts, but then you wonder why your stomach can't get flat. Or you have very healthy thoughts, but you wonder why you're always tired. And I mean, you don't have healthy thoughts. Like, if you have healthy thoughts, what's going on with your physicality will follow. Like, so,
And yeah, and that's another thing. Like, if you have healthy thoughts, you will stop limiting yourself. Um, to toxic behaviors and environments, and also you can also help you can also help shift the environment, um, which will, like, yeah, kind of like what you're saying, whatever is happening on the inside is actually happening on the outside. And that's why you're dealing with so many um, different issues. That's why it's you. But most
Mm-hmm.
importantly, we talked about accountability. You're the reason. You're the reason why your child is failing. It's you. I just want you to know that.
Yes.
Um,
You're the reason
yeah.
why your child is failing. You're the reason why your relationships are in shambles. You're the reason why your life is in shambles. You're the reason why your shit is chaotic. It's you. You are the reason. And people are so afraid to take accountability because then they have to admit to their wrongdoing. But at the end of the day, it's okay. It's okay because at the end of the day, there is traumas that we've experienced that have caused us to act in a way that we act. But however, we can never heal those traumas unless we first take accountability for the things that we did as a result of those traumas that we experienced. Because you can't just say, oh, well, because you did this, because this happened to me, that's the reason why I did that, and that's okay. I don't give a fuck what happened to you. It's still not okay for you to go around wreaking havoc on other people's lives just because something happened to you.
Hmm.
But as a side effect of trauma, unhealed trauma, a lot of times we go around. So I had this saying that I made up um, during the creation of Enlighten Up, and I don't know if I'm going to say it verbatim, but I said you're just a casualty of the war that I have going on inside myself. So if I'm
That's
in
so
a
good.
if if I hurt you, I didn't hurt you intentionally. You're just a casualty of the war that I
Hmm.
have going on inside myself because I have so much shit going on. You know, we know what casualties of war mean. It's like you weren't intentionally, you know, you didn't intentionally get slaughtered. It just happened that had happened because we're in war. We're in war right now, so anything's possible. So if you die in war, it's just kind of like damn, like you're a casualty of war. But a lot of people are casualties of war in other people's shit, and a lot of people don't realize that their shit spills over onto other people. Like
Right.
that's why it's so important for you to take accountability because if you don't take
Hmm.
accountability, you'll continuously be pointing the finger at everybody else as to why people are the way that they are. And it's not to say that people aren't wrong as well, but
And you're not gonna heal.
you know,
You're not gonna heal.
I wholeheartedly believe that you are the master of your own fate. If you want to live a good life, you have to become a good person.
Hmm.
If you are a bad person, you will not live a good life. Like it's just simple.
Same stuff I'm saying. Speaking of baby boy, I am the master of my abilities.
Thinking I
when,
am
they,
the
when,
master.
when
And
Jody decided that he was
it's
gonna start selling clothes.
and it's so much like, oh, you hear people say like, oh, be the change that you want to see. People don't realize that when you change yourself, your outer reality starts to change to match who you are. So if you're a toxic person, like again, when people be like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with these people. I'm always attracting like toxic men or toxic women. It's because you're toxic. You're attracting what you are. If you fix yourself, you will start attracting better things because your outer reality just matches what's going on inside. So I always say, if you look at your life and you are not pleased with the way your life looks, then you need to fix some things within yourself because your life looks the way it looks because you are the person that you are. This shit be so simple, but people rather make it hard. Like shout out to Lauren because that one
Real stuff.
small phrase is just so fucking profound, and I feel like we sing it as a lyric, but we never really think about how profound it is and apply it to life because this is why I created Enlighten Up because everything is really just that fucking simple. It really is
Hmm.
just that simple. We just make it so hard. We make it so hard when it's just like, bruh. Not even really that fucking difficult. Like, it's plain and simple.
So
If
you
you
know
know what's
what's
best
so
for your
funny
child,
though?
you're gonna do what's best for your child. If you want to live a better
Yeah,
life, you're gonna do shit that's gonna put you in a direction of living a better life. It's
but you
simple.
know why? It's very simple. I totally agree with you. But you know why? This isn't happening at a rapid pace or phase is because people are addicted to bare minimum. People are addicted to struggling. People are addicted to toxicity. So furthermore,
People are
it's an
addicted.
addiction.
People are lazy too.
You're
That's a big
you're
part of it.
addicted to, yeah, lazy. You're fighting. So another thing is you you need more help. It's very simple, but you need more help than you think you need. If that make any kind of sense, you need to know that if you are constantly doing the same thing, that is called addiction. And if imagine if you were addicted to the things that people are, where people often talk about, oh, you might be addicted to drugs. Those are the main ones that people say addictions are, addiction to alcohol or drugs. So imagine if someone is addicted to heroin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use that as just a hardcore one. You need you need rehab. You need, baby, you gotta go
I
in.
agree. See, I agree. I both agree and disagree with this sentiment because I feel like people who are in any kind of addiction recovery, right? If you know anything about the 12 steps, right, which are the
Hmm.
cornerstone of any type of addiction recovery, the
Right.
very first step that they teach you in a rehab program is the first step is admitting you have a problem.
Yeah.
People go to rehab not because they need outside assistance, but because they don't want to take accountability for the fact that they have a problem.
Ooh.
So they need somebody else to tell them and make them realize that they have a problem. But I feel like if you're self-aware and you're one of those people who has no problem taking accountability, you don't need outside sources because truth be told, nobody can really help you do anything. People can
Hmm.
only assist you on your own journey of healing. That's why you ever hear when people are talking about drug addicts, they say, um, it don't matter how many times they go to rehab, they're not going to get clean until they're ready. Rehab
Hmm.
doesn't get you clean. You realizing that I have a problem and I want to be
Self-awareness.
clean is what's going to make you clean. The
So it is
rehab
a
is just
step
a place
before
to
this.
help facilitate that change, but they don't help you change. Because if that was the
Right.
case, then nobody would still have an addiction. The problem is people don't want to take accountability because they don't want to change, but they
Hmm.
know that what they're doing is fucked up. So they'll
Hmm.
use the fact that they need help as an excuse to just, it's like a guilt trip. It's a guilt
Hmm.
trip. Oh, I need help. Then help your fucking self then if you need help. If you need help, then
Hmm.
help yourself. It's,
Hmm.
in my opinion, it's a guilt trip. And people don't really need help. They need a fucking reality check. And they need accountability is what people really need. Because the one
Right.
thing about it is that I don't know, everybody's heard this phrase, I don't know who created it, but when you know better, you do better.
Hmm.
People want to pretend that people love to live in under the guise that they don't know how, they don't know what to do. Oh, I don't know how to heal from this, I don't know how to beat this, I don't know how. Because
Hmm.
the moment that they take accountability for their shit, then they got to do something about it. And a lot of people just don't want to have to do the work that's required to
Hmm.
get the outcome that they want. So it's just, in my opinion, it's just a lot of laziness. Like, yeah,
Laziness. Don't
you
want to
could
do the
get
work.
clean. You just don't want to do the work that it's going to take to get clean because it's easier for you to just stay where you at than it is for you to have to overcome all these obstacles that you feel like are against you to get to where you want to live. I mean, get to where you want to be in life. Like, that's why I'm a person. I'm a person who I'm extremely self-aware. If there's anything that I want out of life and I don't have it, I know that the reason why I don't have it is because I don't want to I'm not ready to do the work that it takes to get it. You probably heard me say this. I'm very clear on who I am in certain aspects. I don't want to do that work. Like this work that it's going to take for me to get this out of it, I don't really want to do it. So it's not that I don't know how to do or I need help to do it. It's just because I don't want to fucking do it. So I don't have it. So I don't sit up there and be like, oh, I want to have this, I want to have that. I don't have this, I don't have that. I just recognize that when the time comes that I'm ready to go out and get the things that I say that I want, there's certain things that I'm going to have to do to get them. Back to what you saying about somebody having a heroin addiction. If you want to get clean, you know what the fuck you need to do to get clean, and you will go do it because nobody can do it for you. That's why, like, I understand the helping situations, but I feel like even that, I like to be very careful when it comes to help because help can become enabling real easy.
Yes, I agree with
And
that. I
for
do agree
real,
with that.
nobody can help you. You have to help yourself. I can only be a guiding light or a facilitator of you helping yourself. I'm not actually helping you. I'm just here on your journey with you of you helping yourself.
Right. You're in the gym by yourself. Right. I totally agree. You're definitely in the gym by yourself. But I do believe that um, um, the people of Earth are sick. I'll leave it at that. I don't know how to go about after that, but there's an illness upon us. That's all I can
Yeah.
say.
It's called lack of accountability. That's the illness right there.
Yeah. Like um lack of accountability. Accountability. I feel like that's a really huge big one. The more you're accountable for your actions, your words, your doings, the better things will be for everybody involved. You including yourself. I, I put something on my thread a few weeks ago, and it said like basically, um, you can you can tell the truth right now, and it's gonna hurt, but eventually it's gonna get better. Or you can lie today and feel good, and then you could just have the pain later on. Like, and so be honest about. Come forth with it. But like you said, the 12 steps, admitting that you have the problem, whichever that may be. Come forth with it because that's going to make it be better in the long run.
I was watching something and somebody said a quote that was so good. I have it in my notes, but I'm gonna lose the screen, so I'm not gonna go get it. But it was something on the line of basically what you were saying about today and tomorrow, like today, telling the truth today to benefit your future. It was something that they said like don't I'll I can't think of it right now and I don't want to butcher it, but it was basically something on the lines of like don't sacrifice good tomorrows for like great tomorrows for a good today or something on the lines like that they were saying like basically to exactly what you were saying, but the way they said it was just so profound. I wrote it in my notes, but I can't retrieve it right now, but that's fine. But yeah, like I feel like the main thing that's lacking in the community is accountability. That's why at
I
Enlightenment
agree.
we teach it's about self-awareness. Like it's strictly I call myself the human mirror because all I'm going to do is be the mirror to you so that you can see who you are so that you can learn to self reflection and accountability. Like that's what enlighten up is all about. It's literally about self. Like no outside sources, just you raw real and figuring out who the fuck you are, what the fuck you want out of life, and all those things. Because until you recognize and realize who you are, and admit to yourself who you are, both good and bad, that's the only way you
Mm-hmm.
will ever see any growth. Because a lot of people only want to operate, like I said earlier, where I mentioned when you hear a woman tell a story about a man, she normally only talks about what the man did, but never talks about her role that she played. A lot of people, both men and women, only talk about the negative that the other person did to them, but they never talk about what they did, because it takes two to tango. It's a back and forth, it's an ebb and flow. You never talk about what you did to cause this person to do this, because there was
Mm-hmm.
always something. It's cause and effect. This didn't just happen. There was something that happened before this happened. But a lot of people don't want to talk about that, because then they would have to not be the victim.
Right.
People love being a victim. I don't know
Right.
why. I don't know what people think they get out of being a victim, but being a victim just holds you into. I feel like being a victim keeps you in bondage. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
like bondage to me. I don't want to be a
Oh,
victim.
that's so good. I like
And
that.
I don't
I
like
like
to
that you put
and
that.
I don't like to pretend that I wasn't complicit in all the shit that happened in my life. I was complicit. There was
Mm-hmm.
never a situation that I was in where there was a gun to my head and I felt like I was in danger, so I had to just go
Mm-hmm.
along with
Mm-hmm.
it. Like I was very much always complicit in what the fuck happened to me in my life. Now,
Mm-hmm.
realizing that, it taught me how to now make better decisions in the future, because I realized, okay, Shelly, if you do this, this is what's gonna come from it. But if you never get to a place where you be like, yeah, I could have done that differently, and you continue to place the blame on the other person, you're never gonna grow,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna continue to repeat the same mistakes over and over and over.
That's really good. I love that. You have a timestamp? I can't see
One
the time. I don't want to.
116:42.
No, like what? That's good. That's really good. Do you know what time it is? Like right now? Like
Oh, 8:53.
it's 8:53. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. Because I don't know what
Here.
time it is. So that means it's 7:65. That means 5:53. Okay. Um.
What time do you have to
Um.
go?
This place closes at 7.
Oh,
Um.
okay.
So I'm gonna definitely bounce out of here. And I'm just head to the airport. I'm gonna have to just sit there because the airport's only 10 minutes away, but my plane don't board until 11. But I don't mind. I'll just do some thinking, do some stuff.
Right.
I love that, Shelly. That is so good. Accountability, self awareness. Um, um, how you feel?
I feel
How you
good.
feel?
It's always
How
a
you
good
wanna?
time when I get to verbally express things that I have with my mind all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I feel great. Shout out to Politics as Usual, season 2, episode 1. Again, y'all already are familiar with Amira and I, but we do have a new cast member whose name is Life. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it with us today. We want to put them prayers out for him, hoping that everything that's going on with his life and his family situation is good. Yeah, but I hope y'all excited to be back, because we're excited to be back. I'm excited to be back anyway, because baby,
I'm
I
very
got some
excited,
stuff
and
to
I can
do.
definitely tell you got a lot. Shelly got a lot of insight in there, and you guys should definitely step in. And before when we started this conversation, you were talking about YouTube is where it's at, and I actually was on a conversation with somebody else, and they also said the same thing. And so this is good. I'm happy that people could find us and find some good things to help them along the way. So
For sure.
stay tuned.
And if y'all could please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and also, just say what's up in the comments. Give us a shout out. Tell us where y'all from. Because we want to connect with y'all. We want our reach to be international, but we definitely want to connect with our subscribers on a personal level. So tell us your name and where y'all from in the comments so that we can make that personal connection, because we definitely believe in a family environment here. Like politics as usual. Like we politicking with our folks. So even if you always in Norway, I'm just making that up. Or if you in Chicago, like when we get on here, just envision us. We just walking down the street in our neighborhoods and we chilling on a stoop and we just kicking it. Politics as usual. So yeah, in the comments, drop your name and where y'all from. And yes, like and subscribe to our video. We will be here in we're going to be posting every other week. Every other week.
Yes.
We will have the
And we're
full
gonna be
video
posted
posted
every week.
every other week. We will
Yeah,
have our
every
full
other
video
week.
posted every week, but we will have some little, shorts and snippets and commentary for y'all in the weeks between that, because we want to keep y'all interested and we hope that y'all stay interested with us because we interested in y'all. But yeah, I just had to put that out there. Like, subscribe, comment, follow, all that good stuff.
This is so good. I'm just excited.
So
I just
I
want
just
y'all to
need
know.
to
I'm just like, yeah.
disclaimer real quick. Forgive me, y'all, because I have not gotten used to looking at the actual camera. I'm always looking at myself. So it'll seem like I'm not looking at y'all, but I'm really like new to being in front of the camera. Like I'm a behind the camera type of person, but I'm stepping into this new version of myself to do different things, and I'm going to look into the camera right now.
Oh, I feel.
Does it look different? Like
Yeah, it does
it bugs
actually.
me that with me looking into the camera, I can't look at myself because I need to make sure that I look right. But
Oh wow, so that makes a big difference because I see you clearly. Like I've been seeing you, but when you like put right in the camera like that,
when I'm looking into
it
the
does.
camera, it looks like I'm looking directly at you, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But when I'm looking at myself, it seems like I'm looking at something else and not the viewer. And I want y'all to have my undivided attention
That
because this is what we're
okay, I see
here
that.
for. So just bear with me. I'm going. This is listen, accountability, self-awareness, and practice right here, right now.
Right,
So I'm going to make it my business to try to remember to look directly at the camera. I'm going to do this in practice.
right.
So if y'all ever see me do this, just be like, yeah, she ain't quite got it yet. But trust me, once I realize that I'm doing this, I'm gonna come right back here, y'all. So
Right, that was good. I love that. Okay, I definitely see the difference in the two. I'm gonna
mm-hmm.
try it. I'm gonna try it too. I don't even know. I can't even tell if I am or not. But because
Look,
it
I
looks
just
like I'm
looked to
like,
the left. They probably like,
oh, crying. I'm picking up. All right. I mean, most importantly, I want to say, love yourself. Loving myself has caused me to do everything that I love. And that's what the love code is. Um, encouraging you to love yourself. When you love yourself, then that means that you can hold yourself accountable. You can be aware of yourself. You can do the things you like. You can scratch off the things you don't like. Um, and I brought that up because I'm just happy to be here. Like I love that I'm having this opportunity um, to just conversate, politic, offer some insight, and just talk about some of the stuff that I'll be talking because I'll be wanting to talk about all types of stuff. But I'm a really like, believe it or not, I'm a real private person. And so a lot of times I don't even get to really tell people things. I get to just know these things and live them out. But that's a good thing to be. Like you could be. We talked about this before, Shelly, where you could just be an example, and people can learn by you being an example. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm happy. Um, like Shell said, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know where you're from. And also, yeah, if you got something to say on any of the topics that we discussed throughout the whole season or now, um, yeah, let's engage.
for sure, because at the end of the day, it ain't politicking if y'all not involved. So,
Right.
that's what it's about. And I just want to preface this with saying, because I felt the need to make sure that I iterated this. this goes into me saying that nobody can really help you. It's up to you to help yourself. So these are literally just our opinions and perspectives based on our lifestyle. We're not telling you to do anything.
Mhm.
We just want to offer up. We're not even offering anything. We're literally just living examples of what we talk about that happen in our lives. And if you find anything that you feel as though could potentially work for you, then feel free to implement it in your own life. Okay? I just wanted to add that these are just our opinions based on our own lives. Like,
Mhm.
so yeah.
That was good. It's been real.
It's been real. Thank y'all for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, tell us where y'all from, and we will catch y'all in 2 weeks for another full video. Love y'all.
All right. Love. You want to like end it and then like stay?